So I'm just sitting around the other day and I'm thinking, what's the next movie review I am going to do? Maybe I'll do something that is one of my favorite childhood movies. Maybe Rocky. No. Rocky IV. Guys, Rocky IV holds such a special place in my heart because I was around 13 years old, dating myself when it came out, and it was just so huge to me. You know what I mean? It was just such a massive movie in my life. So nostalgia is going to play a big part in this review. I am aware of that. Having said that, I still freaking love Rocky IV. So let's get this review started. Rocky IV stars Sylvester Stallone, Talia Shire, Carl Weathers, and pretty much the whole gang's back. But something's different about this movie because it seems to have a different tone than pretty much all the other Rocky movies, all the way down to the score. The story's real simple. Rocky is going into retirement, and then the Russians come over, and Drago is a force to be reckoned with. You see that immediately when he's on screen. Apollo is not happy with the whole situation. This is a time when America and Russia were head to head with each other. We saw tons of movies that had to do with the Russians and Americans, and there was a huge rivalry at the time, and it played a big part in Rocky IV. So Apollo immediately wants to have an exhibition bout with Ivan Drago. So they have the big press conference and everything, and Apollo is just showboating up and down, right? But when we see the Russian in this scene, you can tell right away that he means business. He doesn't talk. He's pretty much a mute, but he is stone cold, no expression whatsoever. He is literally a machine in this movie. So as we all know, Apollo and Ivan Drago fight, and Apollo gets killed in the ring. And now Rocky comes out of retirement. Rocky wants to settle the score, and the stakes are huge. There are so many things that I really like about Rocky IV. First of all, the pacing of the movie. This movie is only 90 minutes long. There is not a scene in this movie that doesn't belong, and it goes by lightning fast. The movie is also tension-filled all the way through. It starts off kind of mild, but then by the end of the movie, you are wanting to just jump out of your seat, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. If Rocky I was a drama, Rocky IV is definitely an action movie. It's like the perfect storm of action movies too, because you have the greatest villain in it, in Ivan Drago. He literally looks like a monster. He's like 2 heads taller than Stallone. It's ridiculous almost. It's not like Stallone is fighting a human. You feel that throughout the whole movie. By the time Rocky and Drago actually fight, the tension is just so high, and you just want to see these guys get it on by the end of the movie. Also, you got to remember, Stallone was at the height of his career when Rocky IV came out. I believe Rocky IV was the highest grossing movie of all time when it did come out. You also had Rambo 2 come out in the same year. So Stallone was definitely the Tom Cruise of his day. And you also had 2 training montages. 2! And they used a completely different score in this movie. But yet, the montages still are just as effective as Gonna Fly Now and Redemption. Which brings me to the final fight. The Rocky IV final fight, to me, is easily the best final fight out of all 6 movies. Hands down. And I can base that on my theater experience. I saw this in a packed theater. Back in my hometown, it was just a small theater that was only showing 2 movies. They actually closed down the other movie, and it was just Rocky IV all the way. They showed Rocky IV on both screens. And to this day, I still haven't had a movie theater experience like that. People were treating the final fight like it was a real fight. I literally saw people standing up and cheering during the fight. I was on a date with the girl, right? She did not like Stallone. She said, I hope Rocky gets beat in this fight. By the time they actually fought, she was rooting for Rocky. That's how powerful this fight was. The turning point in the fight was in the second round. Drago is pretty much kicking Rocky's ass throughout the first 2 rounds. But when he cuts Drago, when he punches him, I remember just the theater just erupting. It was chaos. Are there problems with Rocky IV? Sure, of course there are problems. I mean, it is a product of the 80s. When you watch Rocky IV, you know immediately what decade it came out in. Also, Rocky's speech at the end of the movie, I like it, but some people would say it's a little cheesy. But you know what? Back then, people were just eating that stuff up. Today, it's hard to get away with that, but back then, oh man, it was huge. Other than that, there's not a lot of negative I can give Rocky for. Like I said, this is a controversial review. I know some people make fun of it, but for me, this movie packed an emotional punch. So for that, I gotta give Rocky IV Trapped on an Island. Guys, what's your favorite Rocky movie? What did you think of Rocky IV? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at DrumDums. Thanks for watching, and DrumDum out.